You've got guys on that team believing they can actually compete for a Super Bowl. I don't. I think that defense is still too much of a problem, and I don't think that Brady is that great to elevate the team that much. But I do think accountability, professionalism, attention to detail, that does change with Brady. We had MJ Stewart here on the show, a young cornerback for the Buccaneers, and MJ last week was saying he's going to come in and change the culture, and that's exactly what we need. So you have the Bucs going from afterthought to suddenly we've got life to at least believe in winning the division in the playoffs, even though the Saints are in that division. But we've got life in terms of belief. That's the first degree. The second degree is the guy that Brady replaces, Jameis Winston. This is an interesting after effect to me about Tom Brady joining the Buccaneers. There's no way Brady throws 30 INTs. There's no way, like Jameis did. Jameis ends up being the first 30-30 quarterback in NFL history, throwing for 30 touchdowns and 30 picks in the same season. Brady will be far more careful with the football. But also, there's no way that Tom Brady reaches the passing totals that Jameis did. I mean, Jameis had 5,100 yards last year. He was the only 5,000-yard passer in the NFL. That includes Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, go on and on. Not another player threw for 5,000 yards. So how about that Brady is going to replace a guy that led the league in passing? Now, the Buccaneers would hypothetically win more, but Brady won't come close to 5,100 yards and 33 touchdowns through the air. If Brady has an underwhelming season, let's just say Brady has an underwhelming season, he looks 43 years old, and the Buccaneers don't improve, does that actually end up giving credibility to Jameis Winston? Could we see a point in time a year from now where we look back and go, well, the Buccaneers were 7-9. Jameis threw for 5,000 yards and 33 touchdowns. He wasn't that bad. He was actually pretty good. Because I think right now the idea is, well, anybody in that system will succeed. The third degree of Tom Brady is the team that he leaves, the Patriots. Okay, so now what happens to the Patriots quarterback situation? Right now, Belichick is riding with Jarrett Stidham, Brian Hoyer, and Cody Kessler. I mean, look, if Belichick goes into this season with those three guys on the depth chart, it is the ultimate, screw you, I can win with anybody. I mean, really, because is Stidham a fourth-round quarterback who everybody in Foxborough says they're high on, but you never know. And I don't say this with a personal vendetta against the media of Boston, but those that report on the Patriots, you never know if they are reporting the truth or they're reporting what the Patriots leaks want you to believe. The Patriots are brilliant at planting the nuggets they want out there. They are brilliant at completing their own narrative for public consumption. They are brilliant at telling you very consistently from multiple sources, this is what we really like. This is who we really like. This is what we're thinking. But they do it so consistently. There's nobody that speaks out of tune to where you don't know if that's actually what they believe or not, or that's just what they want you to believe so that you report it. They can say all they want about Jarrett Stidham. Do we really believe that they love a fourth-round quarterback's potential enough so that he is going to replace Tom Brady? I mean, it would be bold and Patriots-esque, but, I mean, is it true? So that's next. Will there be another guy? And if Belichick wins, obviously, with Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer, it is the last laugh on this relationship. If Belichick can find a way to win 10 games with a fourth-round draft pick in his second year in Jarrett Stidham, or Brian Hoyer, a bounce-around guy's entire career, if he wins 10-6, 11-5, or 17 games, so if they play all 17 games this year, 11-6, What do we think about Belichick and his influence over the winning? The fourth degree of Tom Brady going to Tampa is the last guy that was considered the greatest of all time, Joe Montana. When Tom Brady came back against the Falcons in the Super Bowl, down 28-3, to give him his fifth ring all time in the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, many said, well, that's the day that he passed Joe Montana. And since he added another ring, and so some have declared, well, at that point in time, Brady surpassed the threshold for greatest of all time. But I want to remind people this. Joe Montana went to the Kansas City Chiefs in his final 2 seasons and went to the playoffs both years. Montana joined the Chiefs, and he didn't have weapons like Godwin and Evans and O.J. Howard. He didn't have one of the best offenses in football. He had a very good defense, the Derek Thomas, Neil Smith defense of the 90s under Marty Schottenheimer. He had a good running game with Marcus Allen, good offensive line, but he didn't have great weapons, and that Chiefs team went to the playoffs twice in Montana's final 2 seasons. In his first season with the Chiefs, they went all the way to the AFC Championship game. You might remember, lost in Buffalo. And he also went to the wild card round in 94 and lost to Marino in the wild card round in 94, but made the playoffs. And in that game, threw for 317 and 2 touchdowns. That's his final game ever. Montana, 317, 2 touchdowns, and a wild card loss to Marino. You know, do you think that Tom Brady ends up with 2 playoffs here in Tampa and an NFC Championship appearance? I got a hard time believing it, maybe, but it would at least be one more feather in the cap of the argument that, hey, Joe Montana is not chopped liver here. Brady might have more rings, but Montana, you could argue, did more with less. Not I'm saying talent, because he had Jerry Rice for 2 of those rings, but that Montana did it all, 4 championships in basically 11 years, and then 2 playoff seasons and an AFC Championship game in his final 2 seasons in a different team. Brady has had 20 seasons to do this, and now maybe 22 in Tampa. The 5th degree of separation of Tom Brady is the pressure on the guys that teams banked on instead of Brady. We thought that Brady wanted to go to the Niners. The Niners said, thanks, but we're good with Jimmy G. We think that Brady might have wanted to go to the Titans, relationship with Mike Vrabel. The Titans said, no thanks, we've got Ryan Tannehill. Let's see if Jimmy G and Ryan Tannehill look good this season. Will Brady look better than those guys? Look, I believe that both those teams made the right decision, because you don't have more than maybe a season, to me, with Tom Brady that you could really believe great things in. And you have to be pretty damn close to winning a championship and not have a better solution long term, to me, to bring in Brady. The Buccaneers really didn't. The Niners just went to a Super Bowl. The Titans were in the AFC Championship game with guys much younger than Tom Brady. I think they made the right decision, but if Garoppolo is bad this year and the Niners look like they want to cut bait, or Ryan Tannehill crashes back down to earth and looks like Tannehill from his Miami days, the egg might be on the face of the Niners and the Titans and those 2 quarterbacks. And the 6th degree of Tom Brady and the after effects of him going to Tampa Bay is the final memories of Brady. You know, the way things ended for so many guys that went one last money grab somewhere else were ugly. We remember Emmitt Smith clumsily falling down in Arizona. Jerry Rice as a Seahawk never looked good. Joe Namath on the Rams, broken down and battered. Johnny Unitas on the Chargers. Franco Harris on the Seahawks. Will we remember Tom Brady fondly, like Peyton Manning winning a championship on his way out the door, even though he was no longer Peyton Manning? Or will we remember Tom Brady like I mentioned those other guys, throwing ugly passes in a weird uniform for a losing team and just flat out looking old? That is one of the effects of this. And so Brady's decision to leave New England and go to Tampa Bay isn't just about Tom Brady. It's about so many other things, which makes it fascinating.